And there's a part 3. So, came home from the hot springs, and it's becoming more apparent that we're not in Kansas anymore. By no means are we in Kansas. It's like we've got the ruby red shoes and the good witch of the north has told us that we've had the power all along, and now it's like the idea is sinking in that, oh my god, yeah, we do actually have the power, and it's just like right at that moment where, okay, where the realization is sunk in and the gears are turning to spurn that impetus into action. This is the beginning of the experience where our soul, our inner divinity, our inner light, whatever you want to call it, experiences both simultaneously release in the form of catharsis, or at least that's been my experience with it. Or as everything that is not moving forward makes itself apparent, and the moment that the decision is reached on whatever level that needs to happen on, it doesn't necessarily have to be conscious unless you're prompted to do so. Yeah, the release of anything and everything that is not moving forward into these energies, and flowing with these energies that are flowing in. So it's like we're at and in the wave of another pulse of light coming from our source within ourselves and expressed through the stars. So coming through Alcyone. And so we're simultaneously releasing it at the same time. It's like we're automatically in the process stepping into the new. So it's like an instant transformation, transfiguration, translation. And the only thing that really has to happen at this point is just the process of, as we're making that leap, it's like we go through an acclimation phase. So for me, this feels like an acclimation phase. Like I'll go take a nap, and I'll feel like intense amounts of work going on, like shifting things both out of and into my physical space. And for me, this feels like the realization of what I've come here to do after the deep dive. So, coming out of the journey that I've gone through to play my part in the restoration of the innocence and purity of the sacred child, as well as how in these moments the sacred child is receiving the nurturing love and guidance of balanced motherly and fatherly energy. So the sacred mother and the sacred father, in their place in the order of things, within the sacred masculine and sacred feminine, is coming into balance, and they're seeing what the child has gone through and are responding appropriately to help the child process whatever traumas, whatever fears, whatever holdbacks, as since uh, although we are children of our Sacred Father and Sacred Mother, internally, who we actually are, we still have gone through these physical experiences where we think we're like these adult things, or the matrix programming, like from the schools and all that, the mainstream media, all of that. It's it's like all of that is debugging and coming out, as well as the abuse and trauma and all that. So it's like I feel myself more willing to follow my guidance and do it with love and do it fearlessly, and recognize that whatever part that I play, whatever comes back is validation, whether it be a very loving response, or someone simply points out where there's a blind spot, and that's still like an amazing service. And this does also translate to ways that we've been shut down as far as manifesting our lives as we see fit. And so at the moment, it's like, we have this money thing. We have certain structures that are set up that are being retired, are being taken out of the shared experience. We've had our fun with all of that, and it's just in the transition that we're in at the moment that that aspect of living a 3D life, coming out of that experience that we chose to have, there comes an acceptance of it simply being a plaything. It's a toy. It's a tool, whatever. And just allowing that tool to come and be present in our lives forever, whatever way that it's either useful. So, we'll get to a point where it's like the energy exchange that money represents will no longer be needed in that way. We're just, acting communally again. And it's just in that acceptance of that energy, however it's been twisted or distorted, just by simply accepting it and accepting it with love, does that come into balance and no longer have its distortions. It's also that there is a growing sense of safety and stability within the inner child, and also with the rapidly reforming and stabilizing connections between the sacred masculine and the sacred feminine, and how they interact with the sacred child. Everything's coming into balance, and we find that we are ready to dance and play and share with this world. So this goes for so many of us who've gone and done the deep dive, who are magnificently talented beings who have struggled and come up with obstacle against obstacle, and so on and so forth, about simply expressing what they have came here to express, and live their life on their own term, and also tap into that inner satisfaction that comes with simply being of service to your fellow beings. I feel like, in closing, my last gratitude statement is, I am grateful for the ability to validate and acknowledge and love within, and grateful for the ability to see the inner light, the inner beauty, the pure essence of who we are in its full, magnificent, glorious brilliance. And accepting what is me, what is us. I hope y'all have a good night, or a good night, or a good evening, or a good day. Whatever. We'll talk to you soon. Much love. Oh, and thank you for watching too. Bye-bye.